So now we're gonna show her, or you out there, how to assess if you have tight hip flexors, okay? And if your IT band is tight. So what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna grab your knee and bring, you gotta come off a little bit more off the edge of the table though. So scoot your butt. Okay. Good, good,
right
good,
here?
good. Yep, now do it. Okay. Come back. Nope, leave this leg
leave
where
it
it's
down?
at. Yep.
Okay,
don't tighten this leg. It's gonna do what it does. So you're just gonna go back.
Okay.
Okay. So the fact that she can't keep her leg bent tells me that you have tight hip flexors.
Oh, okay.
And then some people, they'll have their leg out here like this.
Okay.
The leg will shoot out. That tells me it's the IT band that's tight on there. So I'm going to show you the difference. So let me do it. I'm going to sit at the table.
Okay.
So when I do it, you'll see if I'm holding this and I fall back.
Oh, okay.
My leg is still bent. Hers was like this.
Yes.
So that tells me it's your quads and your hip flexors that are tight. So if you're this person, then you have to work on stretching out your quads and your hip flexors. If you're this person, there's some people that it'll come out to the side.
Right.
It's your IT band that's pulling. So that's how you assess.
Okay.
All right. So for you, a simple stretch, and you guys can do this at home. You're gonna lie on your back.
And if you're serious about your nutrition, don't forget to add your Seamoss Secure. The link is going to be in the description below. If you want glowing skin, nice long hair, healthy nails, and just being healthy overall internally is a plus. I told you I had fibroid surgery. One of the things that help to keep my fibroids at bay is the Seamoss Secure, especially the burdock root that's in that mix is definitely important to the total body health. So it's beneficial to both men and women, helping to balance out hormones. Not to, give you a long description, but that link is going to be in the description for you below. Without further ado.
Okay.
And all you're gonna do, even if you get out of the bed and you're somebody who wakes up with tight hips, just let the leg drop.
Okay.
And that should be enough. And then gravity kind of does its thing and you'll feel it.
All right.
So then what you also want to work on is if you have an anterior pelvic tilt, aka duck butt or stripper butt, you're like this the whole time.
That's me.
So you're comfortable in this position, then you really have to focus on squeezing your stomach and pushing your back into the table.
Okay.
You see how you do that and automatically your leg wants to lift?
Right.
Yeah, so squeeze, push down, and kind of just let this relax. And then if you have a buddy or somebody at home, or you can get one of your kids to do it, they can lock in here. And all I'm doing is just pushing down, pulling, and back. And that's stretching all of this. And as I'm doing that, you're gonna push your butt into the table.
Okay.
So you should feel more of a stretch.
Okay.
Good. Feel that?
Yes.
I know I feel it because you're fighting me. So take a deep breath and relax. See how you just allow me to go a little further? So we stay there. So here's the thing, a lot of people make this mistake. She just allowed me a little bit more range of motion. So I'm gonna stay here. You don't ever wanna revert back to your beginning. Okay. So go to where, okay, I just got more range of motion. That's your starting point now, where you were allotted the new range. As opposed to when taking up the slack and going back to the starting position.
Okay.
So if you take a deep breath and you feel that person giving you a little bit more range, or you feel you've gotten more range, then you hold that in that position and you own it.
All right.
Take a deep breath. Good. So what she likes to do, you have a great core, but she uses her core to make up for the lack of mobility in other places.
I do.
So what that looks like is like if you're doing overhead position, you flare out your rib cage,
right?
Because that's giving you a false sense of mobility. Or if she's doing something with her lower half, she's gonna flare out your rib cage,
right?
So you take a lot of your mobility, which is why your thoracic also probably is tight. She gets a lot of mobility from her lumbar spine and her abdominal region. So that's why when you do when I stop this, then all of the other stuff starts to happen. Then it shows me where you're tight and where you're not, because it looks like you have good mobility, but the moment I shut this down,
my body just
then everything else comes out. And that's very common. Some people use their midsection. Some people use their jaw. You'll see people do weird stuff with their jaw. They'll be going to squat and they stick their jaw forward.
Yes.
So we say that you're using that as your core.
Right.
It's a false sense of stability and a false sense of mobility because you're trying to get more motion.
Yeah.
Or if somebody's doing overhead and they do this, they jerk their head outward. It's because this can't come back as far as they want it to. But if I do this,
It goes a little further.
it goes a little further. But that's not what we want.
Right.
You should be able to do it with all of this being aligned. So that's very important for some people. And if you're an athlete, or if you're somebody who's involved in sports, you want to be in a good alignment, because when you're not, then you're leaking power and you're leaking energy.
Yes, yes. That's very
Because you're
true.
spending too much time doing this. But if you were here, then that's a straight force
Right.
up and down.